We are now in 2025 where when you go to Baskin Robbins and you get a double scoop of ice cream with a cone on the side, you are now going to be spending about $10, including a tip. I went to Baskin Robbins today. Baskin Robbins, I got a single scoop of strawberry cheesecake and a single scoop of chocolate chip cookie dough with a cone on the side, girl, and with a tip. I spent $9.66. Like, what in the inflation is going on?
2 cones for $9. That cone is nothing. I can have a cone gone in like 30 seconds, sometimes less, especially if it's soft serve. Folks, this is what's happening, folks. Inflation just ticked up again. We're back with another dose of economic reality. Things just got worse, as we said they would. But yet, I have people here on this channel, some of them come back every video and they tell me I'm wrong, that none of this is going to happen. Folks, everything we've talked about here has happened, and it's happening, and it continues to happen, and it has happened. I said prices are going to continue to rise. The cost of living is going to continue to go up, and of course, what's happened? It's gone up, right? Inflation reaccelerated. We're going to get into that. We're going to hear from a few people. They're going to share their story and a little bit of drama, to be honest, with a lot of people, but later on in the video, we're also going to tell you how to benefit from this, some trade ideas, just some tips that I think are going to be useful to a lot of people. All right, but let's get into some other videos here, some other people telling us what's going on. I mean, $9 for 2 scoops of ice cream. It's insane, folks. And it's only going to get worse, right? And to describe this next video, it's someone taking a Waymo vehicle, which is a driverless vehicle. And it's not just inflation, folks. It's affecting people. It's companies also cost cutting, and therefore people losing their jobs. And a lot of taxi drivers and Uber drivers. First, Uber came out and got rid of a lot of taxi drivers. A lot of those drivers went from driving a taxi to Uber. Now they're trying really hard to replace these Uber drivers and other drivers with the driverless vehicles, the autonomous vehicles. And I've seen reports here of people getting their Uber canceled. And then they do another one, they book it, and it gets canceled again. And the one that finally shows up, or the one that doesn't get canceled, ends up being an autonomous vehicle. So many people are speculating that these companies are purposely canceling the rides that have people driving them and making people go to the driverless vehicles so they don't have to pay them as much. Crazy. Listen to this, though, about this driverless vehicle.
So another day in my life, girl, you know what it is. With me, I'm always up to something. Like, why do I have my luggage on the side of the road? Today, we're taking the autonomous ride app called Waymo, and I'm excited because it's my first time ever using this. Now, this is a self-driving app. Self-driving car, if you did not know. I got this man to help me. Finally, I love when men are men and they just help you. Like, this man came out of nowhere and helped me with my bags. So Waymo, again, is a self-driving car, similar to Uber, similar to Lyft, but better because you don't have no human contact, which can be fun. This is a self-driving car, no hands on the wheel, literally just get in the car and just ride, enjoy yourself.
I'm not getting in one of those, folks. I saw a video. This guy rides his electric bike through LA. I can't remember the guy's name, but he rides it through LA. Anyways, they had a bunch of protesters on the street, so the street was blocked off. Driverless car, Waymo comes up, doesn't know what to do. The car's just sitting there. And it looked like the passenger was trying to get out, so it was sitting there and locked the doors. The video I saw locked the doors. It looked like the guy couldn't get out. And the car was confused because what normally should have been a street, intersection, was blocked off. Somehow it sensed there were people in the street, so it just sat there. It didn't know to back up. It didn't know to turn around and go a different direction. It was insane. But let's finish out with this individual here.
Relax a little bit, take pictures, make your content, like just enjoy it, sleep, change your clothes, whatever you need to do. Like, I was enjoying it. I was a little nervous at first, and I like that the screen tells you like when you'll be there, how long you have. You're able to switch up your music a little bit.
Gonna change your clothes in a autonomous vehicle
and just vibe out a little bit. They have different playlists that you can choose from.
Better have some tinted windows if you're gonna do that.
which is really nice. The car ride was really enjoying. It was very comfortable. I was able to change and adjust the temperature in the car. I felt really good because it was hot outside this day and I was in all black. So I'm on my way, and yeah, I'm just enjoying myself. I'm like asking Waymo, girl, can we go get some coffee or something? Because yeah, we got 13 minutes to get there, 9:48, and the view was beautiful outside. I was really enjoying myself. I'm feeling like this is like a very futuristic kind of thing right now, and I'm definitely here for the wave. I'm a person who loves technology. I love like things evolving. And
She's having fun. Hey, I'm just guessing here. She's single with no kids. I noticed the people with kids are a lot more stressed out nowadays because of the cost, and we're going to get into the inflation numbers. But let's finish this up, and I want to tell you something else about what's happening with Uber, what they're doing.
time, and I felt like a self-driving car. Like, yes ma'am, sometimes I'd be like drained, my social battery be drained, and I just be wanting to just be in my own little circle at times. No hands on the wheel, that's the only rule. No hands on the wheel, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Okay, I was vibing out. Finally I changed the playlist, so I was really starting to feel the ride. It was nice. Then once your ride is done, they pull over, you get out, get your stuff, and that's it. Use my code so you can save money on your ride with Waymo.
Trying to get me riding dirty, trying to get me riding dirty. Y'all remember that song? I love it. Here's what's happening though, folks. Waymo teaming up with Uber. Waymo and Uber have partnered to integrate Waymo's autonomous driving technology into the Uber platform, allowing Uber users to hail Waymo's autonomous vehicle directly through the Uber app. That's what's happening. And we're getting reports, though, that people are getting their human-driven cars, those rides getting canceled. And maybe it was a glitch. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. This is allegedly. But people are saying that they've canceled 2 or 3 of their requests for the Uber. And out comes the autonomous vehicle. That one didn't get canceled, though. So it looks like they're trying to cut costs, right? Cutting costs can be good for consumers, for you, for me, if things become cheaper. But my guess is they're not going to make it cheaper. They're going to make more money on the deal because they don't have to pay the driver, but I don't think they're going to lower the price. I think they're going to try to force people into the autonomous vehicles. Just my opinion. I mean, let me know what you think about that. Have you taken one? Do you like those autonomous vehicles? Do you think they're a good idea? Technology, money saver? Or is it just going to be you still pay the same price as a consumer, but now you've got the risk of being in an autonomous vehicle, which may get scrambled, there may be a glitch. What happens if there's a glitch and the glitch puts you in the wrong way in the other lane, right? When my phone glitches, I'll restart it. That's fine. When my computer glitches, whatever electronics, restart it. When the car glitches and you're driving, you're riding in the car, folks, that's a whole new level there. No thanks for me on that anyways. But before we get into the inflation numbers, because inflation has reaccelerated as we said it would, national debt, $37 trillion, folks. Remember at the beginning of the year, new administration coming in, all these promises, we're going to pay down the debt, we're going to bring down the cost of living, things are going to start getting easier, folks. None of it's happened. Prices continue to rise, the cost of living is going up. Couple areas where things are getting a little bit easier, rents are coming down nationally, not everywhere, but on average they're coming down. But a couple pockets of easing and things getting less costly, less expensive. But overall, prices are going up. Remember they told us that they're going to start paying down the debt, and they even talked about sending out stimulus checks because they're going to save so much money. Debt's not being paid down, still going up. Obviously, we just hit $37 trillion national debt. Consumer debt's exploding, still going higher. And we told everybody here that was going to happen, but yet I was being called a doom and gloomer. I was negative. I was, accused of basically just saying the same thing, but it's happening. Things are continuing to get more expensive. So if that's what reality is, if that's what's happening, you have to continue saying the same things. And I'll say it again, looks like things are going to get more expensive. The only thing that can solve this is a complete economic changeover, meaning a bank collapse and the banks don't get propped up again like they were in 2008. That would be one thing that would fix it, but it would be very, very painful because when the spending stops and when people can't get loans and when people can't take out credit cards and you have that banking crisis or that panic, then a lot of more job losses happen then even with what we're seeing right now, even with all the cost cutting, the job cuts, the layoffs, the slowdown in consumer spending because everybody's so loaded up on debt, it would be even worse. But that's the cure, folks. Sometimes the cure is very painful. Like ask an alcoholic that tried to quit drinking, somebody that's been drinking for years. Cold turkey is very, very painful. Ultimately, it's better. And that's the same thing with the banking system, with the financial system, folks. Ultimately, you need to cut this thing off, cold turkey, all this spending and pretending, all right, all this easy money. And what do they want to do? They want to lower interest rates. They want to lower interest rates. What's going to happen if they lower interest rates? Cost of living, just like in 2020 when everything got put on pause, cost of living is going to spike. What's going to happen if they send out stimulus checks? It'll help people for a minute, for a little while, but then everything's going to get more expensive because people are out buying stuff that they normally didn't buy. And of course, on the other side, the ones selling those things, those items and goods, they're going to raise the price because they see things flying off the shelf and the cars leaving the lot, and they're going to raise the price. It's going to cause more inflation, obviously. All right. But let's take a look at this here, and then let's get into a couple other videos real quick. Let's talk homelessness, people. Let's talk homelessness. Take a listen to this.
Me is not homeless. The person sleeping behind me is not homeless. They have permanent housing. They were given this housing about 6 months ago. Every day since, she has slept on the sidewalk, sometimes all night. She has an apartment to go to, but does not. This is the perfect example of someone who was not prepared for housing. All she knows is the streets.
So you guys see that? Look at this guy in the back.
Here every single day. Now, someone driving by, they're like, oh my gosh, it's a homeless woman on the sidewalk. Why isn't anyone helping them? Well, someone did help her, but she's still out here.
Folks, we've talked about this. These people, some people are so strung out, so addicted, they don't want help. Sometimes they won't even accept food. They just want money so they can go out and get the next fix. It's insane, people. All right, finish up.
Now, imagine a politician driving by.
He says the person behind him has a place to go to, has a roof over their head.
Or a voter. They're going to vote for more funding for homeless services because they're going to see her and be like, wow, this is triggering. I really want to help. But you'd be surprised that many homeless people you see on the streets actually live indoors, or at least have access to indoors, but sleep outside. And that's the sad reality, because the fact is there's no tracking tools, there's no oversight, there's no really way of tracking where they are or who's being helped. And that's the biggest problem with this dysfunctional system, is because there's no oversight, things like this just get overlooked.
Wow, that's crazy. That person has a home. That's what that guy says. I mean, he's probably out there in the streets every day. He sees these people. He knows probably some of them what they do. And folks, that's the sad part of it too. You've got people that, if you help them, they don't want to be helped. They want to be on the street, right? You can lead a horse to water. What's the same, but you can't make them drink. What's the other one? You can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves. But yet you have those type of people, and people that don't want to be on the street, that have to be around these type of people. People that just had bad luck. They lost a job. They couldn't pay their rent. They couldn't pay their housing bill. And now they're on the street with these other people that don't even accept help, right? So it's a very insane thing to think about. How is this going to be fixed? Even if you built housing for everybody, some people just wouldn't want it. So in other words, be careful about the streets that you walk down. They're trying to do homeless sweeps in many of these different cities. And we're seeing more people move to the woods now. I think we did an episode about that a couple weeks ago. More people looking for places to park, people that are lucky enough to have a car to sleep in. Anyways, but take a look at this. Look at this latest recent news item here. And remember another prediction that we made over a year ago. All right. When people were very optimistic, okay, new administration, things are going to get better. All the problems are going to be fixed, folks. I said, not only are the problems not going to be fixed, things are going to continue to get worse. Look at this in Denver. Another record case of evictions. Look at this. So first of all, the article out of the Denverite, mother of 3 evicted. Imagine kids on the streets, folks. What are they going to do? Denver safety net didn't catch her. Mother of 3 evicted. Denver is on track to see a record number of evictions in 2025. Another thing we called right here in this channel, we said 2025 is going to be worse than 2024. Of course, we're more than halfway through the year now, and we're on track, we're on pace, Denver and many other cities, to see things worse versus last year. Last year was worse than the year before. So things are continuing to get worse. Not for everybody. There's still the rich people out there, still people managing to make money in this economy. And not just make money, but continue to gain wealth in this economy. But in this economy right now, just working, it's very hard to climb that ladder, if you know what I mean. The ones that are making money that I know of are people that are investing and taking advantage of rising asset prices, right? The real estate investors, even stocks, digital assets, investors are doing really good. Now, if there's ever a correction, I shouldn't say if there's ever, when there's a correction, they'll feel some pain. So hopefully these people that are getting rich now aren't all in on these bets or on these investments. Hopefully they have still some cash, because if you're all in and then you have the correction, that's bad news, folks. Feels good when the assets are going up. When you're all in, it feels good because you know you're all invested and you're taking the most advantage of rising asset prices and rising markets. But when it corrects, that's painful if you don't have any money on the side, if you're all invested, if you're all in. So caution against that. I mean, I don't give investment advice, but just something to look out for. But I don't really see any deflation happening unless there's something that rocks the markets so big. We've seen wars break out. We've seen upheaval, protests, unrest. All those things hasn't been enough to rattle the markets and to cause a significant drop in the stock market or any asset prices, folks. There has to be something really, really disruptive happen. Do I think we're going to see that very soon? Yes, I'm still in the camp that says something shocking is ahead. Something wicked this way comes. I'm in that camp. Am I saying it's going to happen tomorrow, next week, next month? Maybe not. But I do think that in the very near future, you're going to see something that brings the markets, that brings society to a screeching halt. I can just feel it. I know a lot of you, I read your comments, you could feel it. You know, just things don't seem right in the world and in America, but even across the world with all the things that are happening right now. The never-ending wars, the never-ending rising costs, and it's worldwide, folks. It's not just the U.S. So you can't sit there and just blame it on one person, one party, one system, right, or one group. It's worldwide. But the U.S., we're supposed to be the land of opportunity, the land of the free. People are calling America now, what's the American hope, the American dream is gone, or you have to be asleep to believe it, or now it's the American nightmare, as the new way people are putting it. Crazy. All right, but back to this video real quick. How out of your mind do you have to be to just want to sleep on the sidewalk, where people can harm you, they can rob you if you have anything to rob? I passed out one time in a friend's yard. And when I woke up from that, that scared me. I'm like, wow, I really passed out in the yard. Somebody could have ran me over. They could have, who knows, they could have done anything. I'm out in the open. I'm out in somebody's yard. And not my friend's fault. He didn't know I was out there. I went outside back when I used to do a little bit of drinking. One of the reasons why I really don't drink much now, because when I do, if I have too much. Anyways, let's go on to some other news here, folks. And I want to talk about the inflation rising, accelerating. The CPI, folks, CPI, Consumer Price Index, 2.7% in July. That means compared to July last year, prices are on average 2.7% higher. But even if it was 0.1%, right? Even if it was 0.1%, that means prices are still higher. Even 0.1% would be too much, because prices need to drop. We need a negative reading on this. We don't need any positive numbers. But look at this. Eggs up 16.4%. Coffee 14.8%. Beef, steak 12.4%. Ground beef 11.5%. Candy and chewing gum 7.5%. Do your teeth a favor. Stop buying those things. Juices and drinks 6.8%. Apples 6%. Frozen fish and seafood 5%, bacon 4.6%, oranges, bananas, cookies all up over 4%, folks. You get the point, you get the picture. Things aren't getting better. Things aren't getting easier. What's going to stop it? So what do? invest. Look for dip buy opportunities. Some bad news just came out on the stock earlier. I went and bought the dip. Now, I'm not really going to go into the stock too much because it's just an overall general strategy. Look for prices that come down more. I look for prices that come down more than 15% in a short period of time. If it's a solid company, then I'll go in. First, I'll wait for the price to go down and not drop anymore or level out. And then once it levels out for a few days, then I'll buy it. But I don't buy it when it's dropping. I'll wait till we see a string of positive days and then go into it. Just a little strategy that I use. I'm not giving advice to anybody. But from what I've seen, you've got to invest now unless you're already wealthy. And then you can get out of the hole, so to speak, or stay out of the hole. Stay out of the debt hole. Stay out of the financial struggle hole. You know what I mean? What do you think about the homeless situation? What that guy said about people don't want help? The driverless vehicle, inflation going up, reaccelerating. All right? So anyways, let me know, folks. Thanks for being here. As always, keep stacking. Bye for now. Peace.